Every character in a story has a journey, but not every journey is remembered. So why do some characters leave a lasting impact, while others fade into the background? It's not just about what happens to them. It's about how they change and grow, their arc. And in documentaries, finding those character arcs can be even more challenging. In today's video, I'll share how to create unforgettable character arcs in documentaries. Whether it's Cleo from the Pearl of Africa fighting for her identity, or my own story in Puppy Mafia, seeking justice after loss. We'll dive deep into the journey and what makes characters real and relatable. Every character, real or fictional, they face challenges that push them to change.
Most people who attack us, they do so through our parents, because our parents are our vulnerability.
And I've seen this firsthand in my documentaries. Whether it's Cleo's search for freedom in the Pearl of Africa, or my own battle for justice in Puppy Mafia, the stakes drive the story forward. Hello. Why do we care about the character's journey? It's because we see change. In the Pearl of Africa, Cleo faces a hostile world while searching for acceptance. And in Puppy Mafia, my own journey transformed as I uncovered the horrific puppy trade. But how do you capture that transformation and make it matter? Cleo's transformation from fear to strength, and my journey from loss to justice, it didn't happen overnight. Each revelation and every moment of conflict, it built towards something bigger. A character arc is the journey a character goes through from the beginning of a story to the end. It's about how they change, grow, and develop. And the best stories have characters that transform, they face challenges, and they come out different on the other side. Characters' arcs are crucial because they give the audience a reason to care. They make stories feel real and relatable and impactful. And without a character arc, a story can feel flat or uninteresting. Every character starts in the ordinary world, the life they know before everything changes.
Even animals, beasts, have not degenerated that far. How come people with conscience then physiologically disorient themselves, and then they call it we are a certain sexual orientation? No, you have just disoriented yourself, and then you pretend that it's a human right. No, for goodness sake, it's a human wrong.
This is where we introduce the character, their environment, and what they want or need. For example, in the Pearl of Africa, Cleo begins her journey living a relatively normal life in Uganda, surrounded by a community that doesn't accept her, but still clinging to her dreams. The inciting incident is the event that disrupts the character's world, and that sets them on their path. And it's the catalyst for their transformation.
I was born here. A land with beautiful mountains and deep, dark forests, home to wild animals like the golden lion and elephant gray.
In Puppy Mafia, the inciting incident was deeply personal for myself, and it was just a loss of my own dog that set the story to move forward. This moment not only set me on a path to investigate the illegal puppy trade, but it also became the catalyst for the entire film or TV show. And every character has an outer goal, what they are trying to achieve, and an inner goal, what they are truly in need of emotionally. And the conflict between these goals creates tension, and it drives the story. In The Pearl of Africa, Cleo's outer goal is to live freely as herself, while her inner goal is to find acceptance and peace in a world that's constantly challenging her identity. And raising the stakes, it means that you're increasing the challenges and the obstacles that the character faces. And this makes their journey more intense and engaging for the audience. In Puppy Mafia, every new discovery about the illegal trade raises the stakes for me as both the filmmaker and, someone who has experienced a loss. And each revelation, it brings more danger and urgency to the story. Internal conflicts are what make characters feel real and relatable. They show us the battle going on the inside of the character's mind and, their fears, doubts, hopes, and dreams. And in The Pearl of Africa, Cleo's internal conflict, her fear of being, persecuted, and her desire for freedom, it adds depth to her character. And it's not just about the external events, it's about what's happening on the inside, as she navigates these challenges in her life. And voiceovers can be a great tool to express a character's internal thoughts and feelings, and especially in documentary filmmaking, where you can't really show it by their actions every time because you might not be able to get that action or the access to capture the action. When that happens, I think voiceover can really help. It can be a voiceover that you write, or it can be a voiceover that is based on the interviews you've made. But just driving that clearly is really important for a good story. Let me know in the comments how you're developing your characters and what you usually struggle with or what you think is difficult. Which sort of contradicts what you learn when you learn filmmaking and what storytelling is all about, because then you are taught in film school and in books and everything that you shouldn't use voiceover. But I think that's not really true. It's how you use them that is the thing here, because you don't want to use the voiceovers to be overly explicit, or you don't want to use them to explain everything that's happening. You want them to narrate by being more immersive, more using it as a element in the storytelling, like in the cinematic storytelling toolbox to tell the story. You don't want it to just explain, exactly what is going on. You want it to be more complex than that, to have layers in the different elements. And storytelling, it has many elements. It has the visual part of it, which is the camera. It has the voiceover is another part, especially in documentaries. You have the music, you have the just what people do in the subtext, you have what people isn't saying. The opposite of what they're saying would be the subtext. Other characters can be an element that brings out a certain thing in the story from the main character, like pushes them in a direction, helps them make a decision. There's so many elements that are outside of the technical elements that we look at when we stare ourselves blind at, like the camera, image, and picture, audio, that type of stuff, the easy stuff, really. Like when you tell stories, it's really in all the other layers that I think, the complexities of telling stories are. When you go beyond just pointing a camera at something, it's obvious that is an element, and the audio, it's obvious that you're recording that and it's an element of the storytelling, part of your toolbox. But it can usually be harder to grasp the fact that in a fictional film, costume, set design, leading roles, supporting roles, all of those things are also elements to tell a cinematic story. Want to learn more about storytelling? Then check out my Doc Hero's Journey cheat sheet that's free to download on learndocumentary.com/dochero. Turning points are moments in the story where everything changes and they push the character forward on their journey, forcing them to make a tough decision. And one of the turning points in Cleo's story is when she decides to leave Uganda for her safety. The decision changes the course of her life and it becomes a pivotal moment in the film. To create a strong turning point, make sure that it's driven by the character's choices and it's motivated by the desires and fears.
Yeah, and over here it says no noise. Interesting, since we're planning on doing something crazy.
Losing my second dog was an internal turning point for me, while discovering the network behind the illegal puppy trade, that was an external turning point. Both were critical to moving the story forward.
Ezt látom a fényképezőgépet, és sok ember lefényképez, föltesz az internetre, és sok ember hozzáír, ami nem tud volna.
Három másik autó.
A másik három autó.
There are three more
Itt a pomeráni testvérek.
cars looking at what we are doing because he's so cautious about this.
Kávé?
Would you like a coffee?
Cukorra teszem.
And one common mistake is that you create flat characters that don't change or grow, and this makes the story feel static. Make sure that your characters have clear goals and challenges that force them to evolve, during the film. And once your first draft is done, just review and refine your character's arc. And ask yourself, are they believable? That's important. Do they change in a way that feels authentic and impactful? I constantly review and adjust my characters, the journeys, just to ensure that they feel genuine and resonant. Now, check out this video if you want to learn how to tell a better story.